Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. We're going to do a special Mike's Instant Movie review on the road. The camera is fully prompted. And this movie was disturbing, but that was the point. It's what they would call a horror show, a horror film. And every once in a while, the horror genre gets its ass kicked or gets reinvented. And I believe this movie, which I think is called In the Earth, just did that. This is not going to be a movie that's not going to be, Forrest Gump or something like that. This is not going to please everybody. This is not the movie you bring your mom to see on Mother's Day, or even a date movie. In fact, I heard a couple in the theater squabbling. They weren't talking throughout the film, but at the end of the movie, I heard the female variant of this couple say, "I feel nauseous. I'm serious. We should have left." Now the movie, lucky guy, huh? That's what this woman. But, and they were nothing to look at, either one of them, to be honest with you, the couple. But they're human beings as well. So at the beginning of the movie, there's even some text on screen, a warning, if you would, saying that this film has a warning for people with photogenic epilepsy, which I think that's the term, unless I'm butchering the term. But basically, if you have epilepsy caused by flashing, you should not see this film. And I'm guessing this poor woman discovered somewhat in the movie that she has that issue, and maybe she didn't have that before. The woman in the theater I'm talking about. So this horror film is even attacking the audience on their levels, on their human levels. So I don't know what to say. Was the movie scary? See, it's not the traditional, what's traditional, right? If it scares you, it scares you. But there's wincing moments. Okay, spoilers coming up. Things to do with like flesh injuries, where it's not like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando, where he's blowing somebody away or chopping a guy's arm off with a machete and then you have a chuckle about it. It's like graphic wound things that can fuck with me. I had some close my eyes moments, folks. See, I don't know if this is my type of horror film. I respect this movie probably more than I like it, if that makes any sense. I once went to a seafood restaurant that was like in Maine, Camden or Rockland or Rockport, and it was like the real genuine seafood, like the fucking tentacles are still on the seafood and shit. And while I respected this freshwater seafood, I didn't like it because it was like too oceany, too graphic. And this is that type of thing for this horror film. Like, is it scary? Yes. Is it frightening? Is it? But it's not scary in like an Alfred Hitchcock way or a whatever the fuck way. It's like kind of scary in that it's too scary for its own good. I don't know how to explain it. It's a well-made movie, but at the end of the day, can you hang your hat on any point elements? Or is it just, wow, this movie fucked with me and now I feel like I've been fucked with? And I think it's more like that. Like, I feel like I've been fucked with. I know that I have. They did it good, the acting and all that shit. If this movie, it's almost like you wish you could make a time machine and insert this movie into the Blair Witch spot from 1999, which in a lot of ways was not a well-made movie, but it was well-made marketing. And one of the co-creators of that movie, Ed, I've been friendly with over the years, nice gentleman. But the marketing of Blair Witch was what did that movie so much powerful, box office, the camera work and other things, and the legend of the Blair Witch. This is different. It's going to assault your senses. And so, yeah, I mean, I feel like I love this movie and I hate this movie at the same time. So, I mean, it's definitely worth seeing. You know, if you happen to be in an area where the movie theaters are up and running, and I think more and more... See, I told someone the other night that the movie theaters here in this town were up and running, and she couldn't believe it. She hasn't been going to movies and claiming to be a movie buff. Well, folks, get your fucking KN95, get your vaccine, and do all these things, and go see the fucking movies. I sat in my seat. I mean, I watched the whole thing, this In the Earth, and a couple of weeks ago, there was that Unholy Day, or the Unholy movie, or whatever the fuck. And you see, that is, to me, a more traditional horror film. Maybe too traditional. Maybe it just hits all the, checks all the boxes, like your typical... This is the Unholy I'm discussing. I segued. The Unholy is your typical horror film where it's just like religious themes and blah, 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 and the horror and all that. This is more cutting edge, more unique. At the end of the day, I'm kind of waiting for the big payoff to explain to me all the fucking weird shit I just saw. But it does not do that. It does not give you the, ribbon, the fucking ribbon on the bow. It does not give you the nice, here's your answer, Mike, go about your merry way. Which, when I write screenplays, as you might know, I'm a screenwriter, I like to have a little ambiguity at the end of the movie script that I write. However, ambiguity at the end of a screenplay usually coddles the fish of the writer and not the audience. So what can I tell you? I like the movie and I don't like the movie, if that makes any fucking sense. Like, I saw it, I watched it, I didn't go running from the theater. I'm not like this broad woman, whatever, who's saying, I'm nauseous, we should have left. That's what she said to her mate. I would never do that. I mean, if the movie was really bad, I've left one movie in my life, or probably more than one, but one time I left a movie, which I think was Scary Movie 4, and I actually asked for my money back, and I got it, because I left within 15 minutes. That movie was so god-awful. This movie, it'll capture your imagination, it'll frighten you. Like I said, some of the things that really get to me, flesh wounds and graphic descriptions of... If you ever saw the movie, was it called Misery, with Kathy Bates and the fucking foot thing? Oh my goodness. Shades of that. Just leave my foot out of this. I just don't like foot injury movies. So this is the type of movie that's like an adult. You have to be an adult to appreciate it and go see it and deal with it. You can't just be a child. You wouldn't want to bring your kids to this movie. I remember once seeing a horror movie, I think it was The Others, and a woman brought like a fucking crib with a child in it. Like a what's it called, a rolling crib, or a wheelchair? No, what's a baby chair? The baby carriage on wheels. What's that called? A wheelbarrow? What do you call that thing? A crib? The fucking wheelbarrow? A baby wheelbarrow? A rickshaw? What's that thing where you have a baby and you push it around? God, I can't remember words. A rickshaw. What's that fucking... A carriage? A stroller, for Christ's sake. She had a baby stroller in the movie The Others. I mean, God, what type of people are we? Or they. I would never do such a horrible thing. In any fucking event way, In the Earth, I believe that's the title. I did not know what to expect when I went to see this film. I just got the ticket and went to see it. And it's going to divide the audience, folks. It's going to be something that I think is going to get a lot of attention, but with the theaters not open now, maybe not. I don't fucking know. So, whatever. I said the audience, the movies are open some places and some places they're not. Look, folks, speaking of real life, well, here's another element. in this film, the movie begins with like people wearing masks and getting fucking sprayed and shit. And I didn't know if this was a COVID-19 movie, but apparently it's not. But I don't know what they were thinking, because there's masks and all types of wonderful things. I don't know, folks. Like I said, I love this movie and I hate this movie. Ultimately, I don't know if I'd go back to the theater and see it again. I don't know if I could handle it. But I could handle it once. I give the film auteurs credit for making this movie, for challenging the audience, challenge taken. And I didn't recognize any big stars in this thing. Maybe some of these actors were famous and I don't know it. They had English accents, I believe, English, Britain. I don't know what the fuck. The movie company seemed to be a new one to me. So, more evidence of like this international cinema is kind of having a field day these days. That Pinocchio movie that I saw on New Year's Eve was wonderful, I thought. And now we have this, and Minari, and all these wonderful things. So this is a good movie. It's a horror film. If you like horror, I think this is a must-see. You know, so many people that are into the horror film genre like what I would say bad horror films, but this is a good horror film. It's well made, it's well constructed, it's unique, it's not falling on cliches. I don't think I'm going to be going back into the woods anytime soon, folks. I mean, this movie will convince you that the woods are not a good place to go. Stick to your coffee houses, stick to your restaurants, your nice places. But does anything good happen in the woods? I mean, what the fuck? And it's just scary. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I guess go see the goddamn movie if you can. And so on and so forth. I mean, for me, I know everyone likes to whistle a dick about Netflix. I'm just a person, me, who prefers going to the cinema and seeing a movie and a nice big cushy couch, chair, and a nice big screen. So I'm not diminishing the home viewing experience. I'm just sharing with you that I prefer the cinema. I know a lot of people are wondering, you know, hey, well, folks, get your vaccine, get your shot in your ass or your arm, wherever they put it, and go see a fucking movie. So what do I say? Mike's Instant Movie Reviews in the Earth. I enjoyed it. I think I have the title correct. The kudos to the writer, director. I do wonder about, if you happen to see this movie, I wonder how much of the collages, or that's what it would even be called, like the fast motion collages, how much of that is in the script and how much is that the director and editor's discretion. Of these answers, I know not. So, you know, what the fuck. I have noticed that in a couple of occasions, at least one, a film director has discovered Mike's Instant Movie Reviews, you know, just by probably vanity searching themselves, and they say, oh, gee whiz, is anyone watching my movie? And so they've discovered me talking about their film. So for this one, I say, hey, to the filmmakers who made this thing, kudos to you. The cast was quite good. I had no problem with the acting. They all seemed fully committed and engrossed, and the bad guys seemed bad and the good guys seemed good and all that good stuff. And from my memory, it's really a 4-person movie for the most part. Maybe a couple of other characters in the beginning, but mostly 4 actors. And there's one gentleman, one actor who's really in this thing the whole time, like he's pretty much in every scene. Not every shot, but every scene. So, there you have it. I don't know if I've done this film justice, injustice, you know, poetic justice. or whatever the fuck. But I do say that if you're a horror person, this is a movie you're going to want to see because it's challenging the genre. Now, here's a caveat, folks. If you are someone who gets like really fucked up and like certain horror films are going to fuck you up, like you're going to get traumatized or you're going to get nightmares or you're going to get weird, don't see this film. You know, this is the big ride. This is not, I don't know the fucking allegory. This is the deep side of the ocean we're in, folks. This is the deep side of the swimming pool. So this is not for lightweights. This is not for bantamweights. This is for hardcore heavyweight horror people. This is not a movie that I would suggest anyone with a sensitive stomach, whether you have this epilepsy disorder or not, don't go see this movie if you're not going to be able to handle it. And of course you might be thinking, well, how do I know if I can handle it? I would say it's kind of up there with something like Saw, you know? Maybe not quite as gruesome, but psychologically it'll fuck you up. So if you saw Saw however many years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and that movie fucked you up, this movie will fuck you up as well. You know, I saw the first Saw and I couldn't leave my seat. I was so shocked by what I was seeing, but I never went to see all the fucking sequels because I got my fill with the first one. So in that event, I don't know if this Mike's Instant Movie Review has painted a picture or a portrait, if I have shared with you properly my thoughts, or if you need more information. But I think I've done the best I can with relating to you this experience. So you can take it, you can leave it, but we all saw this thing. I'm pulling up on some cars now. There seems to be a female. Interesting. There's some gentlemen that I know over here. They're having a conversation in the parking lot, perhaps about sports, as men like to discuss the daily events, the scoreboard, the box scores. There's a woman, a gentleman, that they're having their own little tate-to-tate. She's wearing blue jeans. And I don't know if this guy's trying to get a goodnight kiss from this girl, or if he's just, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. So whatever the fuck. I guess I'll park my vehicle. It seems like my nightly rendezvous here, it seems like I got a lot of people are at where I want to go. So I don't like that. I prefer when there's less people where I'm going, that these folks should have gone to other places and allowed me my quiet time, so to speak. I don't particularly like the vibe that I'm getting right now. It just feels like I'm going to have too many people in my jurisdiction, and I don't like it. I just have a vibe that I'm not appreciating. I'm just having a vibe, and I'm going to do my thing. So that's it. Mike Messier, hope you enjoyed it.